what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2006 Ford F-250. Up front is a 5.4 liter V8 and down below is a 4-speed automatic gearbox. Now if you haven't seen my reviews before, what I do is I talk about the engine and transmission, then I talk about the interior, kind of some features, stuff like that. And then I talk about my either overall general feelings of the truck or fun little facts or tidbits of information about the truck, that sort of thing. Without further ado, let's get into the review. So like I said, up front is that 5.4 liter V8, which I was surprised that they even make 250s in gasoline. This is a gasoline engine. But alas, this is a heavier duty towing vehicle with a gas engine. And I don't really have any issues with the 5.4. It sounds great. Try to get you a little sound clip of that 5.4. We actually took this thing off-roading, or up here in Michigan it's called two-tracking, last night, and it did great. There's a lot of fun too. The only issue is that there's a common issue with these spark plugs in these Triton V8s. Basically, the spark plugs are two-piece, and so you screw them in like any other spark plug, yeah, it's fine, but if you go a while without changing them, they heat cycle so much that sometimes the bottom half will break off and fall into the cylinders, which is not good. That's not what you want. It's not the best. Of course, that's not the case on all of them, but it's definitely something to look out for if an F-250 or any really Triton V8 or V10 hasn't had spark plugs changed in a while. You might want to be wary of that. Down below is the 4-speed automatic transmission. Nothing really special there. It's shifted on the column, and it looks like the PRND 321 down on the dash is the same as the Ford Taurus. So let's talk about the interior of this truck. Well, this is the Lariet edition, or Lariet trim level, so it's a little bit nicer in here. For gauges, I have two white face gauges, very basic. A lot of this stuff is basic Ford from the 2000s stuff. I did the review of the Ford Contour not too long ago, and it's a lot of the same parts in here. The steering wheel has buttons for song, track, and all that stuff. Even fan level, which is interesting, and I can raise and lower the temperature inside the truck using the right side of the steering wheel. On the left side, we have cruise control options. To the left of me, I got lights, parking lights, headlights, high beams, that sort of thing. In the center, I get an older style radio, but it's 2006, no complaints there. It doesn't have an aux cord. Down below that is the temperature settings. But to the left of that is where it starts to get a little interesting, at least. Is the 4x4 buttons, so you can switch it into 4-wheel drive, 4 high, 4 low, or just 2-wheel drive. But next to that is the parking assist. It actually has beepers that will tell you if you're about to back up into something, which is not only a very nice feature, because it's a really nice feature, but I've only seen that on like 2018 cars. Like the 2018 BMW I drove had it. The 2018 Volvo I drove had it. The 2018 Cadillac XT5, all those cars obviously had that. But this is by far the oldest car I've ever driven to have parking assist features, or at least parking beepers. But then, below that is really interesting. You get 4 auxiliary switches, which do nothing. They don't do anything. The point of having them is so you can hook up a winch, or more practically lights, and so you don't have to fumble around and have these ugly, gaudy switches randomly placed around your truck. You can hook them right up to these switches and they'll work, which is super handy, and that's super cool that they have that from the factory. They know that people are gonna modify these to fit their needs. Then I have 2 pull-out cup holders, a huge center console, and that's really it. The nice thing about this truck, though, is that it's not fully 4 doors, but it's a 4-door. The 2 back doors are little mini suicide doors, which is really nice. I would never buy another truck that doesn't have 4 doors or have 2 rows of seating, because I have a single cab Dodge Ram, and it's good. It's great. I love it, but for just practicality, you need a second row. Another nice feature that this truck has is locking front hubs. So you can actually get out. There's little twist dials on the front wheels, or on the front hubs. You twist those and it'll lock your hubs for better off-road driving. It basically acts like a limited slip differential, or drifting, guys, it acts like a welded diff, pretty much. You don't want to drive around on regular roads with those hubs locked, because you'll be in for a bad time. So what's interesting about this F-250, I said it earlier, is that it's not diesel, it's gas. And the F-250, if you guys aren't familiar with Ford's kind of hierarchy of trucks, there's the F-150, the F-250, and the F-350. Now, there are F-450s and F-550s, but those aren't really open for the public to purchase. Sorry, Steve, I don't want to get your truck dirty. Oh, wow, this is a really bad dirt road. Oh, God. But what's interesting is as you go up from F-150 to 250 to 350, this road is so bad. You go higher and higher on basically the amount of work it can do. The F-350s are mostly dualies, which are made for towing huge trailers. The F-150 being the lightest of duties. So the F-250 is kind of the middle ground. All right, I need to turn back around and get to town. Oh, jeez. There are your parking beepers. That being said, this truck still has 300 horsepower and can tow almost 9,000 pounds, which is no small feat. The other thing I found interesting about F-250s, at least in my quick time of research, I usually like to just brush up on information. Oh God, my RX-7 would be getting wrecked right now. I mean, like, legitimately wrecked. Thank God I'm in an F-250, though. It's like nothing, right? All right, back on asphalt, thank God. The other thing I found interesting was that there were so many different ways you could have ordered or gotten your F-250 that almost no F-250s are alike. Because yes, this is the Lariet edition, which has the nicer big leather seats, the, you know, captain's chair. But most Lariets that I found were diesel. This one's gas. A lot of Lariets that I found were two-wheel drive. This is four-wheel drive. So there's so many different ways that you can configure an F-250. Even back in 2006, I can't imagine now with all the different assists and packages that you can get. But that being said, I'm filming this review up in Michigan right now. And on my way up, I started a timer for 1 hour. And I got my little clicker thing. And I said, all right, I'm going to click once for every Ford truck I see. That's F-150, 250, 350, or Ford Ranger. I said, all right, every Ford truck I'll click. When I was done with my 1 hour test, and I didn't BS these numbers. These are real numbers. I clicked the clicker 131 times. That's more than one Ford truck every 30 seconds I passed. That's how many of these there are. So saying that finding two that are alike is hard, there are so many different ways you could customize one of these. And just like in the 1993 Ford F-150 review that I did, I'm really starting to understand why people like these trucks so much. And it's really truck culture. You could have your preference of Ford, Chevy, Ram, Toyota, Nissan, whatever you want. But truck culture is something else. Because you can do anything. We saw these snow-covered, normally muddy paths last night. Steve, the owner of the truck, which thank you, Steve, for letting me do this review. Steve got out, locked the hubs, and down the trail we went. If you guys are subscribers on the channel, I'm sure you saw that vlog already. But especially this truck, the F-250, with its increased towing capacity over the F-150, you could tow anything. If your cousin wants to buy a huge boat, but he drives a Toyota Corolla, you could tow that boat easily. In case of an emergency, if you needed to go into town and get water when all the roads were closed, you throw it in four-wheel drive, you lock the hubs, and you'll get there. That's what I love about trucks. And so far, of the two F-150 and now this F-250 that I've reviewed, it's true. You can do anything with these. In terms of why people buy Ford, I think my conclusion is that people buy Fords because they know what they're getting into. Ford is such a recognizable name. It's a very well-known brand. If you don't own an F-150 or F-250 here in America, you know someone that does or used to. That's just the truth of it. It's like that Kevin Bacon game where like you could connect Kevin Bacon to any other actors within 5 moves. You could connect any person to a Ford truck owner within 3 moves. I'll guarantee you. In America, that is, because this is the most selling, or the best selling vehicle in America. So would I buy an F-250? I would if I needed a truck. Right now in my current life, I don't really need a truck. But if I needed something to tow heavy loads that was pretty comfortable, if I'm honest, like we fit 5 people in here last night. If I needed a can-do-anything truck, yeah, I'd definitely buy an F-250. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I hope you guys learned something about the 2006 Ford F-250. But again, hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.